What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Angela T. Jones, and this is my podcast, Dig This Here. So dig this here. Now the NFL wants to fine players for taking a knee as a form of peaceful protest against police brutality. So let me remind you of why they are protesting. It has nothing to do with the flag, patriotism, a distaste for Trump. It is their constitutional right to protest. And it was a white football player who is a former veteran that gave Colin Kaepernick the idea to take a knee during the anthem as a sign of peaceful protest. Colin has been blackballed by the NFL, and proof of that is coming out. I hope he sues them for billions of dollars. Okay. And now the NFL wants all players to be fined if they don't stay in the locker room during the anthem, if they come onto the field and take a knee and protest. Now, let me tell the NFL players, I'm speaking to y'all brothers right now. Black, brown, white, I don't care what you are. You have a constitutional right to a peaceful protest. This rule that they are putting in place, y'all need to call the players union and see if you have some legal options to sue the NFL for violation of your constitutional rights, because they're basically your employer, right? And if an employer puts rules into place in the workplace that are a violation of your civil rights or your constitutional rights, as an employee, you have the right to go on strike or file a lawsuit. That's how it works in America. Just because you're an NFL player and you have a contract does not mean that they have the right to violate your rights. And if you allow them to do this to you, guess what will happen? All these other corporations that have Trump supporters at the head of them, all these other corporations that just have racial biases towards black and brown people, they will begin to institute the same type of rules in our workplaces for us everyday folks that don't make millions of dollars to play professional sports. That's what will happen, brothers. If y'all don't stand up and speak up for yourselves, that is what will happen. It is very, very likely that we will wake up on Monday morning and another company that employs thousands of people will tell their employees that they have to stand up and now institute 3-minute ceremonies for the national anthem at workplaces. And if you don't stand up, we're going to dock your pay. Y'all need to stand up for yourselves, because standing up for yourselves will stand up for the rest of us. The protest has nothing to do with the flag or patriotism. It's not anything against veterans. The truth is, as players, y'all know, just like some of us know out here that are laypersons, that this tradition didn't even begin until 2009 or something, when the Department of Defense bought a advertising package from the NFL in order to get people to want to become what? Members of the military. That's when y'all got the flag sewn on y'all uniforms. There was no flags on y'all uniforms before that. There was no national anthem requirement before that. So this tradition is not even a tradition. It's a marketing it's a marketing scheme. That's really what it is. And players who know that this is true. This is not some conspiracy shit that I'm making up, y'all. This is real. You can Google it. Okay. John McCain, in fact, found out that this is what occurred, and the NFL had to return millions of dollars to the Department of Defense back in 2015. And the campaign ended. The marketing campaign that they bought ended. It ended before 2015. So now in 2018, they're being told that they have to salute a flag for a marketing campaign that has been canceled. That sounds stupid as hell. That sounds stupid as hell. And y'all know it sounds stupid as hell. They're being penalized for something that never existed prior to a marketing campaign. They're being told that they have to salute a flag. We don't salute the flags at our workplaces, and we don't salute the flags at our schools anymore. Why do NFL players have to do it in order to play football? That's their job. They are going to work when they're going to play football. If your employer told you that you had to salute the flag or you would get your pay docked, you would be pissed off. And you would be talking to your union, the ACLU, the Equal Opportunity Employment Agency. You would be doing something other than taking it. So I implore NFL players, don't take this bullshit, because it's going to affect a lot more people than just yourselves. Because there are people who want us to worship a flag, but they don't want to stop police from brutalizing black and brown people for doing everyday shit. Instances of police brutality have increased. They have not decreased. We are seeing it on our social media timelines on a regular basis. Shakisha Clemens and many others are being violated by police in public places. White cops on black and brown people, choking them, ripping their clothes off of them, wrongfully arresting them, and then want to stand behind, oh, you were resisting arrest. There are laws in this country that say that police cannot violate you. And if they do, you have the right to defend yourself, and it's not considered resisting arrest. But they want to use that resisting arrest ploy to make black and brown people look like we're doing something we're not supposed to be doing. And we need to start suing them for negligence. We need to start suing the cops, not just the police departments, but we need to start suing the cops as individual citizens for the violations that they commit against us. What they are doing is wrong. They are murdering us behind a badge. They are sexually assaulting black women behind a badge. They are shooting unarmed black men behind a badge. They are choking out young black men behind a badge. That badge should not protect them from what would happen to them if they were an everyday citizen. Because if they were an everyday citizen, their behavior would not be condoned. And at the end of the day, when they take that badge and that gun off, some of these same cops are going home and beating their wives. Yeah, I said it. They are. And we have to stop allowing it. We have to stop accepting it. We have to stop saying, oh, it's okay. It's okay to bring him back on the force, even though he has a history of violence towards women. Because I'm going to tell you something, as the survivor of domestic violence, any man that has a history of violence towards women, he got a history of violence towards anybody. He got psychological issues. He got issues with his manhood, and he's a violent individual. And the last place he needs to be is in a position where he's supposed to protect people with a gun. But we need the NFL players. We know y'all make a lot of money. We know y'all got to feed y'all families. We know this. We know this. But the biggest way to make a stand is to hit their pockets. If y'all don't play, ain't no games. If ain't no games, ain't no advertisers. Ain't no advertisers. It's a steady stream of money that they are losing. And that's how you have to be willing. Y'all gotta, for real. Like, if it was Dr. King, he would lose his job for this. Dr. King died for this. Malcolm X died for this. Several other people died for this, y'all. They died for the right for you to be able to peacefully protest against something that is wrong, that is taking place against your people. And it's not decreasing. The truth of the matter is, your protests don't matter to these cops. They don't care. They still shooting and killing us and raping us in the streets and in the back of squad cars and hanging us in jail cells and coming onto our property and beating us on our property and dragging us off in handcuffs. But we commend you for standing up, because you have a platform where you can be seen to stand up for us. But if you slink back and you cowered out now over some money, they will own your black asses. That's exactly what I said. They will own your black asses. They already only look at you as a commodity. They already trying to run the NFL like modern day slavery. They don't want you to have access to the type of equipment that'll protect you from brain injuries. They don't want you to have access to medicinal marijuana instead of all these opioids that doctors prescribe to y'all for y'all pain. They want to pick and choose your value and determine whether or not you should or should not play based on your own belief system. They already violating the hell out of y'all, brothers. They already are. And what they're doing to you would not be acceptable in any other workplace. So y'all really need to stand up for yourselves and stand up for us, because at the end of the day, what they do to y'all, they gonna try to do to the rest of us, because y'all make millions of dollars. Y'all mostly black and brown. If they can get away with doing it to you, they can get away with doing it to us. That's their mindset. Y'all gotta stand up, NFL players. Every last one of y'all. And if y'all team owners don't stand up with you, you need to start putting plans in place not to be a part of that team no more. Because money ain't everything. At the end of the day, you got to be able to live with your principles and know that what you have done is the right thing for yourself and for your people. Colin Kaepernick is taking a bigger loss than every last one of y'all. He's taking a bigger loss than every last one of y'all, and the brother is still being blessed for it. He's still being blessed. He ain't broke. He ain't broke. Y'all need to start making sure that y'all financials are in order. Stop buying all these expensive, extravagant, unnecessary things. Put your money up and walk the fuck off that field. Seriously. Because next thing you know, we're going to be looking at some shit like from The Handmaid's Tale. Except more extreme. Because the reality is that the way this world is going, it's going to become more extreme than that if we don't start standing up. And if you are a victim of police brutality, I strongly urge and encourage you to file a lawsuit against the police. If a white person called the cops on you for doing some everyday regular old shit like barbecuing in the park, sue them too. It's called negligence. When a person knowingly calls the police with intent, that intent is to get you killed. And if you end up getting arrested, brutalized, or even just embarrassed, you can sue that person. And we need to start exercising our rights to the laws that currently exist. I see a lot of people talking about, oh, we need new laws. We need new laws. First of all, I'm going to need y'all to vote. Second of all, I'm going to need y'all to learn the laws that we already have and do so before you end up behind bars. Because they don't want you to know what your rights are. A lot of these cops brutalizing people, they don't even know what the laws are. Because these cops are not being trained on the laws. They're not going to law school. They don't study criminal justice anymore. A lot of these cops, they just people being pulled in from they ex-military, or they just signed up in a recruitment fair to become a police officer. They don't have no criminal justice background whatsoever. So they themselves don't even know what the laws are that pertain to how they supposed to deal with people. And they looking at black folks like we're so violent and we're so problematic that they just got to grab up on us, throw us on the ground, choke us up, pull our clothes off of us to arrest us for nothing because a white person was scared that day. So they called the cops. Yes, I'm fired up. And yes, you're going to get all this Detroit today. All of it. Because I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of seeing young people being brutalized. I'm tired of seeing my brothers being shot in the back and in the chest and they completely unarmed. I'm tired of us getting killed on our own property with a cell phone in our hands or because we was playing loud music. I'm tired of them violating our rights. And I'm tired of us being ignorant of what the fuck our rights are in the first place. Our educational system has been revamped to make us more ignorant. That's why they're taking in very important elements of history out of history books. Slaves wasn't no indentured servants. We wasn't happy about that shit. But that's what they want us to believe because they want us to want to be slaves. It even is impacting immigrants. All of our brown brothers and sisters that ICE is coming to arrest and doing these sweeps on. Do you realize that if we didn't have immigrants coming to this country and accepting these low paying wage positions and working on farms and so on and so forth, we wouldn't have no food? Because see, slavery don't exist no more, but the work that needs to be done still does. They can't force us to do it if people coming to this country from Mexico or Honduras or wherever else are willing to take the jobs and do it, whether they're documented or not. But if they deport all the brown people who grow our food, they will try to institute slavery again. Next thing you know, we will have slavery again. It'll just be polished up, but it will be a form of slavery. I don't see why y'all don't see the parallels. And it may be because so many of us have not been taught our history over the last 15, 20 years. I don't know what's going on. I need the school system to step the fuck up, because you're not teaching black and brown people the true history of this country when history is repeating itself and everybody's sitting around here like, I didn't know. I didn't see it coming. Because they can't trick you when you see them coming. They can't. But a lot of people are falling for the okie doke and the bullshit every day. And we got all these old white men making decisions for black, brown people and women based on their desire to continue to oppress people. And I'm glad that people are running for office. Thank you. Personally, it's a fear of mine because I done did so much shit. Like, I said I could never run for public office because it's like I'd have to just come flat out and just tell everybody what the hell I did in the first press conference. Like, okay, this is what happened. Dig this here. This is what happened. Otherwise, those things would be used against me. I'm intelligent enough to know how the game is played in politics. But once we get more black, brown, and women seated in the House of Representatives and such, we really need to demand that they do the work too. Because right now, all these old white men, they sitting around playing patty cake with Donald Trump's booty cheeks. Yeah, I said it. That's because that's what the fuck they doing. Like, you don't have very many of them willing to stand up, and they know he's wrong as hell. They know that he has a very poor influence on this country. Did y'all know he canceled the meeting with North Korea? I'm just saying. He canceled the meeting, y'all. He canceled the meeting. I don't know why. I really don't care. I think it was a facade in the first place. He wants to take credit for some shit that may or may not have occurred without him in the first place. And hell no, he don't deserve no Pulitzer Prize. He's the biggest racist on the planet. But he canceled the meeting with North Korea for whatever reason. But all of these things can either become the norm or they can be the changing tide to take us somewhere better if we do the right shit. We have to do the right shit. And I don't watch football no more. After they played Colin to the left, I was done. I wasn't a huge football fan then. Primarily, I like to date football players. I haven't even dated a football player as a result. Because Colin is being blackballed for his belief system. And he's not wrong. But Donald Trump can do all kinds of crazy shit and still get to be president. He even had the audacity to be talking about Tommy Lauren. Man, fuck Tommy Lauren. Okay? I would tell that white girl to her face, fuck you. Because at the end of the day, somebody threw some water on you. Ooh. I don't care if it's right or wrong. Somebody threw some water on you. There are nicer people that have had worse things thrown on them. Okay? You are living in your little privileged white girl bubble. And you ain't never had no real shit happen to you. Somebody threw some water on you. Another white person threw some water on you. And now you all up in arms, complaining and crying. But when black people get choked up and shot by police, you ain't saying a motherfucking thing other than, oh, they must have done something to deserve it. They needed to stop resisting arrest. Well, I hope everywhere you go, somebody throw some shit on your ass. Maybe you learn to stay in the house and shut your mouth. because you are what's wrong with this country. You are the type of woman that would institute practices like the Handmaid's Tale and have all the rest of us women enslaved for sex. You are that type of woman. You are that ignorant, privileged type of woman. And I wouldn't even really qualify you as a real woman because you're still in your 20s. You ain't really lived very long. But I hope that you live long enough to realize that a lot of the shit you said and did was detrimental. I hope that life and karma gives you that lesson repeatedly. I really hope that you wake up one day and think back on your life like, damn, I was a horrible person. Because you are. You are a terrible, horrible individual. And you mad because you got a little wet. Whatever. You be all right. Flat out, you be all right. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I just want to see the NFL players stand up. Y'all need to stand up. Stop letting them enforce rules and regulations against you based on fraud, based on fake traditions, based on DOD contracts, based on marketing campaigns. Y'all better than that. Y'all don't have to be slaves to play football, man. Because without y'all, there wouldn't be a game. There would be no teams. There would be no league. You are the heart, the veins, the lungs, the legs, the arms, the hands. That is y'all. It's not the league. The league would cease to exist without its players. So take a stand. Walk off the fucking field. Like, put the ball down at the 50-yard line and walk the fuck out the stadium, y'all. Show them that they don't own you. Because if they get away with it with you, they will try it with everybody else. The biggest fuck you can give is to make them lose money. Like, y'all wouldn't want me to be the head of the Players League. I'd be like, okay, so we about to go on strike. Yeah, I'd be like, we about to go on strike and we gonna do it during the game. Okay, we gonna make sure that it's televised, live streaming, and we gonna walk the fuck off the field. But that's me, because I believe in fighting for shit. Y'all may not see it because y'all not around me. I'm not out in public as much lately because I've been handling business. But I'm very active with my dollars. I'm active with my dollars. I'm active with my platform. And the older I get, I guess the worse I'm getting. But I believe that there are so many things going on. And I have to blame and credit my grandfather. My grandfather was an activist. He is the person that taught me about the civil rights. He marched with Dr. King. Okay. My grandfather experienced racism firsthand while in the military, while working for the Veterans Administration. In his government job, he experienced racism. My grandfather experienced what it feels like to go somewhere and white people think you don't belong there because you a nigga. But you got as much money as they do to be there or more. They actually the employees. You the one paying them. My grandfather experienced that firsthand. My grandfather taught me about apartheid in South Africa. He was actively an activist against apartheid in South Africa because he saw the resemblances to white supremacy in the South here in the United States. The colonizers exist even to this day. And they showing it. They just coming back in different forms. And you got these old white men whose fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers were immigrants. They wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for an immigrant or a refugee. And they're telling us lies to deflect from the truths that we live on a regular damn basis. So dig this here. I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. But if you got a favorite NFL player, mention them in a tweet or on your Instagram or on Facebook and ask them to stand up for themselves. Seriously, at whatever, please don't let the NFL treat you like a slave. Defend your right to protest. They don't own you, brother. And if you don't stand up for you, they're going to try to do the same shit to me. It's a small little thing you can do, but they'll see it. And it may help the NFL to understand that we as their fans support them as people and believe in their right to protest for what they believe in. And we appreciate them standing up for the little guy. We appreciate them taking a knee in protest against police brutality because it hasn't stopped. It hasn't decreased. It's increased almost as much as school shootings have. Every day somebody in America is getting the cops called on them and is resulting in an act of violence against that person for no reason. And there's so much of it going unseen and unchecked because everybody's not on social media. Everybody doesn't want to release the video cameras and the body cams. But we got to stand up for something or we will fall for every damn thing they throwing at us on some okey doke fuckery. And we don't have to tolerate it because this is America. As flawed as it is, we do have rights. We need more of our black and brown people to become lawyers. Okay? Study criminal justice and work in a legal profession. Because we got enough rappers. Okay? We got enough ballers. You see what they're trying to do to the ballers, right? They're trying to violate the rights of the ballers, but we need lawyers that know better to stand up and help these NFL players. If you are an attorney, if you are a black, white, brown, I don't care. If you are an attorney who works with employee rights, constitutional rights, y'all need to be standing up for these NFL players right now too. Y'all need to call the NFL Players League, Players Union, and ask them, would you like for us to help you so that you won't have your constitutional rights violated by the NFL for peacefully protesting? That's what you need to do. I don't understand a lawyer who don't practice law. Because you don't have to be a litigator. But you got a law degree, what you using it for? If you're not using it to help people. Everything shouldn't have to be for a paycheck. Even though in this case, you might get a really nice one. And then it would be a win-win-win. But sometimes, even as an attorney doing pro bono work, or just doing work as an activist because you know that laws are being violated and people's rights are being violated. There's a special place in heaven for good lawyers, y'all. Like real talk. Because our rights are being violated on so many different levels. And we need to really wake up and realize that. And we need to start fighting. Because I'm telling you, I'm crazy. You come for me, come for my son. Oh, you better kill me. You better kill me. Because if I live, you will be miserable. Because I will just drag out the legalities of the situation for a lifetime if I feel like it. You commit an act of brutality against my son and see what happens to you. You find out she ain't all talk at all. Everything I tell other people to do will be happening. Cop put his hands on my son the wrong way for no reason, then shoot or kill my son or beat my son and claim he was resisting arrest. That cop would be miserable when I got done with him. He would be broke. His kids would be broke. His kids would be broke. Even if he ain't getting no jail time, I'ma bankrupt you, player. Take your entire livelihood away. And that's what we have to start doing. You take and violate my rights. You take my life. You hurt my body. You harm me. You give me a criminal record for no reason. Or you cause me to violate my parole or my probation because of your actions towards me. I'm suing. And that's what we have to do. Because if we don't use the law for us, they're going to use it against us. And if you don't believe me, ask the NFL players. I'll see y'all later.